Everybody, welcome to Friday morning's live Q&A session. I am very excited to be here. My name is Michael Bridgman, and I am the Grand Wizard of the Marketing Wizards Inner Circle. And today is Friday, which means we are going live here answering your top questions from the last week. I have been on vacation for the last week or so, everybody. So thank you so much for the birthday wishes, you guys. It was absolutely tremendous. So if you're on here with me live, just please say hello. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. It was a pretty wild roller coaster week, to be honest. I will get into more of why it was such a roller coaster week next week. In fact, I'm not going to go into it today. It's a little too raw at the moment, but it was a tremendous, tremendous time, and I want to have a big, huge thank you to all of you guys for that. Thank you, Mr. Glenn. Yes, welcome back to myself. So thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. It was busy. We were running around traveling, and it was a ton of fun. But that's not why you're here. You're here to learn some stuff about how to make better sales in your marketing, how to improve your results, and how to really ramp up your business's money. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Like, ladies and gentlemen, we are in business to make money. Are you in the business to make money? I'm in the business to make money. Yes, we are. I mean, we are in the business of serving people and helping other people, et cetera, et cetera. That's absolutely great. But the fact of the matter is that you and me are both in business to make money. We got to put food on the table, right, Glenn? Glenn's on here with me live, which is great. He often joins me. It's fantastic. But Glenn, you're in the business to make money, aren't you, buddy? I'm in the business to make money. And although we get altruistic about this, or I want to serve people and everything else, but ultimately, guys, if we have to put food on the table, the fact of the matter is that we're in the business to make money, right? And there's nothing to be shamed about that. There's nothing. That's why we're here. And it just so happens to be that giving the best product, giving the best service, doing what's right by the client in front of you, turns out it is the best way to make money, right? Yes, it is. It just so happens to be that you do all the things right, you do all the things well, and that is actually the best way to make great money as an entrepreneur. Exactly. Somebody on Facebook says, "Show me the money." You betcha. So today we have 3 phenomenal questions, and that we're going to dive into. So one in regards to sales. Okay, so I had somebody ask me about sales, especially when they're talking about like high ticket sales. So items that are thousands of dollars, that type of thing. So we had somebody ask me about high ticket sales. So we're going to talk about sales today. We're also going to talk about focus, right? We're going to talk about how to get better at focus and what it means to focus properly. So I had a really good question about this. So we're going to dive into that. And because as an entrepreneur, we're creatives, right? We're seeing opportunity all over the place. So that means that it's in all likelihood, we can lose traction and lose focus easily. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about lead magnets. So I had a question about lead magnets. We're going to dive into what really the number one thing that your lead magnet needs to do. And we're going to talk about how to do that efficiently and effectively, and how to make sure that your lead magnets are working well for you. Like they're really rock and rolling and doing a great job for you. So those are things that we are going to tackle today, my friends. And if you have any questions throughout our 20 odd minutes together, please feel free to put them into the comment section. Whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, put them into the comment section here, and I will answer those. I'll give you my absolute best today. So without any further ado, let's dive into the first question. Let me bring it up here so everybody can see it. So the question is from Rob. Rob says, "I'm about to start selling a 7K coaching program. Any sales tips?" So I got this question very early on in the week. And I had a chance to really think long and hard about it. Rob and I have been in conversation back and forth and just learning a little bit about him. And I want to preface this by saying you have to sell people, Rob, what they want. We often hear this said as sell them what they want, right? The emphasis is on the want. But I'm just gonna tweak this a little bit and suggest that we focus on the they. In other words, them. What do they want? Okay. So when we're going through what I've kind of got like a little mini tutorial here on sales stuff. The idea would be like sell them what they want. Because often I think we're selling people stuff that we want to sell them. We're selling the thing that we know they need. But are we actually listening to them and selling them what they want, right? What they want. And we're talking about the rest of this. That's an important caveat to keep in mind. So we're going to dive into a couple things here and some of my suggestions on how to help identify what they want. Okay. So there are 3 types of products that you can sell: done for you, done with you, and do it yourself. And that's how the client sees them. This is a product that's done for me. This is a product that I'm doing with the person I'm buying it from, or this is a product that I'm buying and I'm doing all the work myself. All right. As much as we feel like IKEA, for example, is a do-it-yourself thing, it's actually a done with you because they've already prepped the furniture, they've already organized how to put it all together and everything else. So it's really a done with you experience. They've just done the first half, they hand it over to you to do the last half. So do it yourself is very much a on your own, you figure this out, here's some tools and that type of thing. And if you're selling high ticket, Rob, I'm going to take the do it yourself out of the equation. Okay. You are likely not selling, and I know Rob's selling coaching. So technically speaking, Rob is selling a done with you program anyway. But the fact is do it yourself programs. If you're trying to sell a $7,000 do it yourself program, you're probably already up shit creek without a paddle, as it were. It's probably not going to work very well for you. So my recommendation is not to do any type of sales that's high ticket, that is a do it yourself product. You're going to want to focus on the done with you and done for you product side. So let's start with done for you. If I'm suggesting that we have to focus on what they want, what do they want out of a done for you program? Because Rob, if you focus on what they want, then ultimately you can frame your sales presentation around fulfilling those wants. And I really isolated it down to 3 things, you guys. When someone's buying a done for you product, they really only want one of 3 things. And these will prioritize. Like you'll see a better, like they'll want a specific thing. Okay. So first of all, if they're buying a done for you product, when you're in the sales process, you have to identify which of these 3 things that really move them. The first thing, they're buying your expert skills or expert results. In other words, they're buying peace of mind. Okay, that's what they're actually buying. They're buying peace of mind. They're buying a rest assured element that they're hiring a professional who has a whole bunch of skills that they don't have, and they have a track record of results that they don't have in regards to a certain thing. If I'm getting my roof redone, it's a very expensive process. So it's a high ticket sale. I'm buying their expert skills and their expert results. So when you're selling a high ticket item and they've identified that they're looking for an expert to solve these problems, then give them peace of mind. That's what they want. That's what they want, right? It's peace of mind. They want to know that what they're buying is exactly what's going to solve the problem for them. So first thing, they're buying your expert skills and expert results. So in other words, they're actually buying peace of mind. Write that down. Okay. Second thing that they could be buying when they're buying a done for you service. Oh, pardon me. I'm just teeth. Pardon me, everybody. I'm so sorry. Sneezing live. Lovely. Okay. Second thing they could be buying is they're buying time. They're buying back their time. The time it takes to learn the things that you already know, the time that they would have wasted trying to figure things out back and forth. If they're buying a done for you service, okay, they are buying back their time. They're investing in you so they have more time. So if they're saying things in the sales conversation like, I just don't have time for this, I really want to focus on these other things, what really they're telling you is that what they want is time. So they're going to hire you to do this thing so that they can have time to do other things. grow their business, be with their kids, whatever it is, go on vacation, whatever it is that the priorities that they're buying. Okay. The third thing, and this is one that we often don't think about, that's actually more important than we might want to believe. Okay. The third thing, status, ego, self-esteem. They're buying that. When people buy a done-for-you service, quite often one of the things that they really want is that status level. Oh, I had this person come and paint my house, or I had this really high-end company do my roof, or I had this company cater my wedding, or I had this company do my landing pages and my funnels, or I had this company edit all my video. I had this company write my sales script. I had this company do XYZ. That company normally has a reputation. That company normally has a track record of results. Talked about that a minute ago. But often what people are actually buying in a done-for-you service is they want to go, they had the ability to afford that luxury thing over there that gives them this huge status bump. So they're looking for, so how do you know this? They're talking about quality. They're talking about exclusivity. These are the things that they want to buy. So when you're talking about a done-for-you service, and Rob's talking about selling high-ticket items, right? Those are the three things that people really want to buy: peace of mind, time, and exclusivity, or AKA status. Okay, those are the three things. So when you're selling high-ticket stuff, it's really important to identify, Rob, which of those things you're fulfilling. Now, let's go with done-with-you service. Okay, so now I'm going squirreling kind of deep dive on this sales stuff, you guys, because it's really important when you're going to be selling your items. Really critical. By show of thumbs up, who thinks this is valuable to understand when you're in the sales conversation? I know I do. I'm going to give myself a thumbs up here. Boom. There we go. So it's valuable. It's important, right? Okay. So if you're selling a done-with-you service, like what Rob's doing, because he's selling a $7,000 coaching program, right? That is a done-with-you service. So ultimately, they're also buying likely one of three things. They want your knowledge. They want your experience. That's why they're going with you. In other words, they're looking for guidance and advice to overcome the challenges that they know are inevitably in front of them. That's what they're looking for. Challenge or guidance and advice. They want to buy your brain. They want to buy your brain. They want to buy brain. They want to buy your brain. That's what they're going for, okay? Like literally, they want to buy your wisdom and your experience, your knowledge, and what you've done. So really what they want is guidance. They want advice. They are running into the same problem over and over again, Rob. They're getting stuck. They want to hire you to help them, to be there with them, to hold their hand, to guide them through the murk that they're getting stuck in their lives. So that's the first thing they look for in a done-with-you service, okay? Another thing of done-with-you is they're looking for speed to results with control. So unlike buying a done-for-you service, so let's say it's the roof thing. Unlike me buying a roof, okay, and having a new roof done on my house, where I'm like, okay, you just, guys, I'm going to trust that you know exactly what you're talking about. You just go do it, and I'm just going to stand on the sidelines. Some people want to be very much in control, right? They want the speed and they want the results that comes from hiring a professional, but they want to have a lot of input into what's going on. And that's one of the reasons why people buy done-with-you services, right? They're buying the thing, the result from experts, but they want to be heavily involved in the process to make sure that it's going to have the result that they're looking for. Very, very, very common want of your client in a done-with-you purchase, okay? And then the last thing that comes in a done-with-you service that they want to buy, Rob, is if you're selling something like a coaching program or anything where you're guiding them, likely it's over a longer period of time, okay? Or if it's a product like our 30 and 30 video bundle, so our content bundle that my company sells, selling a product like that, what you're also selling is camaraderie. You're selling camaraderie. They want somebody in the trenches building their business with them. They're busy building, they're doing their thing, they're going through the process, but ultimately, right, they feel lonely. there's a level of loneliness to what's going on there. The road to building a business is not one that's often has a whole bunch of friends and comrades along the way. So when they're buying a done with you service, quite often one of the things they're also purchasing is camaraderie, right? That those allies that are on their journey with you. And that's the role that you play, Rob. This person is wanting to get somewhere. So you're there as a guide, you're there to advise, you're there to help them get results, but also you're there as a comrade on the journey from where they are to where they'd love to be, because they've been doing this journey on their own. They've been all by themselves, and they're looking for friendship and camaraderie along that journey. So that's the other element of selling done with you services. And it's important in your sales process, my friends, to listen early on as to what they're giving you. Is this person saying, yeah, then that solves that problem. So to sum up, like, we went deep dive on this. We went over 10 minutes or almost 12 minutes just on this sales question from Rob, but I felt it was valuable to sort of unpack these pieces. So when you're selling high ticket items, like Rob's selling right here, a $7,000 coaching program, you're either selling a done for you service or a done with you service. And those things have elements that the client is looking for, the wants of the client. And it's up to you in the sales process to listen long enough and hard enough to know which one of those elements are the ones that are going to resonate with them the strongest. Okay, so I hope you got great value out of that. If you got great value out of that, give me a yes in the comment section. That would be great. Or a thumbs up, something like that. That would be awesome. And let's move on to the next question here. Okay, so the next one is from Miss Stacy. Okay, Stacy says, I'm struggling with my focus and getting distracted by other opportunities. Any suggestions on improving my focus? Okay. So I could really relate to this one, Stacy. Completely relate to this one, because that was one of my problems. It's still one of my challenges today is I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a creative guy. I see opportunity all over the place, but I have to focus. It's necessary. So here's what I would suggest. This isn't about focus, Stacy, as much as it's about priorities. It's about your priorities. What's most important to you? That comes down to your goals. Your goals and your big vision. So if you're in business, then you should have probably weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals, annual goals, and then something maybe a little bigger beyond that. And then you should have a big vision for what you want your company to accomplish on a grand scale, right? So if your company, let's say the grand vision is hiking Mount Everest, there are checkpoints along the way. These are your monthly, weekly, annual goals, right? And so what I would suggest, Stacy, is rubbing up against those goals, looking at them, okay, every single day, looking at where your revenue is at. Every week, I track a number of metrics in both of my companies. And I'm tracking these metrics to make sure they're getting there. And so these are the things that you would want to take a look at. And so it's not really a matter of focus, Stacy, in my opinion. From what I've experienced, once I got my priorities straight, like these were the things that I want to do. This is my objective right here. This is what I'm going for, right? And this is my weekly, this is my monthly, this is my annually, and this is my big thing over here that I'm going for. Focus became a lot easier, way easier for me, because I just asked, okay, this thing over here, does it match up with where I'm going with my big thing, right? I want to build a world-class media agency that expresses to the world the power of delivering valuable and uplifting content, right? That helps inspire people to be their best selves, to build the best business they can. That's my big goal, right? Is to be a production studio that does amazing stuff like that and all the surrounding elements that make up that, right? And help business owners accomplish big things. That's my goal. So if selling XYZ product, like I just got an offer across my table last week about selling a product, it doesn't really fit with where I want to go. So yes, it's a great opportunity, but it's not a great opportunity for me, because what it does is it fractures my time and then pulls me over there, because focus isn't about anything other than time. Time and focus are the same, right? So focus is really just a, kind of a fancy word for time. Where are you spending your resources? Where are you spending the time? So for me, it was, once I realized this, and this is something I have to remind myself over and over again, Stacy, is that once I realized that it wasn't about focus, it was about priorities, that allowed me to shift. That allowed me to go, okay, does this thing over here that I'm starting to get distracted from, does it help me lean into my big audacious goals, my bag, as it were? If it doesn't, I don't do it. So it was a matter of priorities. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay, question number 3 is from Mark. Mark says, my lead magnet isn't getting downloaded. Downloaded. It's not getting downloaded. Jeez. Okay. Can you tell I've been on vacation? Maybe I'm just away all the time. My lead magnet isn't getting downloaded. Any tips on building a better one? Yes, I do, Mr. Mark. So I know what lead magnet this is. And in your particular case, my friend, your lead magnet isn't solving a tight single problem. One of the best things a lead magnet should do is take one specific problem and solve it. Finito. Final. It's done. It's over with. It is solved. You finished solving the problem for somebody. Okay? That's what a lead magnet should do. It's a demonstration. It's an example. It's a demo of your company's ability to solve a problem in a structured way, right? Because what people are really buying with a lead magnet is 2 things. They're buying the result that the lead magnet offers. In other words, it has to transform, it has to deliver a result or solve something. And they're buying you, your company. Those are the 2 things they're buying, right? The best lead magnets in the world are, here is a problem, relatively quick to solve problem. Okay. Here is our solution for the problem. And in so doing, they're buying you. They're buying your ability to go, here's your problem and your challenge, and here's our solution, and see how we can solve this for you. Okay. Now, it is a done for you product, as it were, because it's normally a free or very inexpensive product. But the fact is, even if they don't actually do what the lead magnet is suggesting, Mark, they still see the pathway. I can't tell you how many hundreds of lead magnets I've downloaded that I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. I see how they've solved that challenge for me or for somebody else with this thing. Email templates, all sorts of different, like ebook creators and all these different things that they might have out there. I see how it's working. Whether I use the product to its fullest extent or not is almost irrelevant to my buy-in that what they're offering me solves my problem. And therefore, if I want to do business with their company, it's likely solving my problems too because of the clarity around the whole thing. Okay, so what I've got here is 3 different lead magnets that I'm going to show you examples of. And they're very different. These are all for very different reasons here. Okay, so first lead magnet is this puppy package that we put together in our store. This puppy package right here. So the puppy package, you guys, solves a very specific problem. It's expensive getting a puppy. In my brick and mortar store, we have this puppy package. It's $60. It's actually, we just had a price change in June. So this is way more than only $200 worth of savings. It's more than that. The fact is, it has a whole bunch of coupons inside this puppy package that solve that one specific problem. This is a lead magnet. We show it online. We show it to puppy owners in the store. This goes, here's a whole bunch of different things that we provide solutions for and a massive discount on all those things. And they go, oh, I see how this company can help me. It solves my food needs, solves my treat needs, solves my toy needs, solves my daycare needs, solves my grooming needs, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Lead magnet solves a problem. Having a puppy is expensive. We've made it cheaper. Done. I trust that they can help me in a number of ways. Okay. Next one. Now, I just quickly printed this off. We normally give this away to PDF, but this is a ideal client tool. So building an ideal client, right? For anybody who's followed me for a little while know that I'm a big proponent of identifying an ideal client for your business so you can really target your marketing down specifically. Okay. So this is 8 key questions to knowing your ideal client. At the end of these 8 key questions, they will have clarity around who their ideal client is. And they even have this little paragraph at the end that says like, my ideal client is ... who ... that likes this ... that has these problems ... It's this little paragraph that explains who their ideal client is. There is a problem I don't know who my ideal client is. We have a solution. Here's 8 key questions to knowing them. And at the end, you get a result. I have a client descriptive paragraph or whatever it is. Problem, solution, simple. Okay. And we'll go one step further. Now, this one's a little more heavy duty, but this is a lead magnet we put together for one of our clients. It's called Making Your Next Move Easy. This is a real estate agent, Kelly Blewett, one of my clients. And she wanted to attract senior citizens that are downgrading, like not downgrading, downsizing is the word I'm looking for. Okay. They're taking their homes and they're going into condos, whatever they're doing. So she put together a guide on downsizing in Langley for adults who are 50 plus. 55 plus, 50, it doesn't matter. The fact is, this has been a huge hit for her. Okay. There is a problem. I want to downsize, but I don't know how. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to call. I don't know how to find these people. So we have a guide here, a whole bunch of different tips and tricks on how to do it in conjunction with, there we go, like a directory here on who to contact for different things. Problem, solution. So now if they want to do business with Kelly, they're more inclined to go, wow, she's really thought of all of my needs. I can really trust Kelly to make sure that what I'm doing, right, what's happening is going to be valuable. So I hope that answers your question, Mark, because I know your lead magnet basically is a piece of your system. But if it's a piece of your system that doesn't lead directly to a final result, and it's not solving a small, tight problem for somebody, it's not really an effective lead magnet. Okay? So you have to have a great product. You've got to have a great product. And this leads me to what was a fourth question actually that came in here. I'm going to get to in just a moment here as we wrap things up. But your lead magnet should be a very tight, very concise solution to a problem that illustrates those 2 big things. One, that your company and what you offer can provide a solution, and that they can trust that if they buy something bigger from you, it's going to be the same. Does that make sense? Okay, by a show of thumbs up to the people who are watching here live, let me know if that makes sense to you. That would be great. And so one question that came in just recently, because she saw a short that I was doing and sent me a message about this. This lady, Diane, sent me a question just before I went live. This was about 45 minutes or so ago, or before I went live. She said, why would a coach or consultant give away their best stuff? And here's the thing, Diane. This is the same thing with lead magnets, you guys. You should give away your best stuff because this is your first date with a client. It's your first date. Okay? How many of you have been on a first date? I'll bet a lot of you. I'll bet a lot of you have been on a first date. Well, the fact of the matter is that first dates, you bring your best, don't you? Glenn, my buddy, you're on here right now with me, I believe, still. So don't you bring your best? Like when you brought your wife into your fold, I'm imagining you're bringing your best. You're not bringing your worst. You give away your best stuff, Diane, because you want to impress people. You want to knock their socks off. You want them to go, holy shit, I got to work with Diane. She is a rock star, man. Look at how much value she gives. And if you go back to Rob's question about selling high-ticket items, if you want to sell a $5, $6, $7, $10, $15, $20,000 program, if you want to, like if you're in car sales, are you going to put your worst car out on the front of the lot? Of course not. You give away your best stuff, Diane, because information is cheap. And you might as well give your absolute best stuff because what you're putting out there is going to reflect what you can ask for later. You want to get someone to marry you? I'll bet Glenn pulled out all the stops to get that wife to marry him. I'll bet he did. Right, buddy? Yeah, there you go. He says, bought my best shirt. What is this? Glenn says, brought my best. She's hung in there for 43 years. My marketing must be working. Exactly, buddy. Exactly, right? So the fact is, you bring your best stuff, Diane, because you want to make the best possible impression and therefore keep those people attentive to you long-term, right? That's why I did this deep dive on sales stuff in a Q&A session on a Friday. It's really good. Like people would pay money to have that type of sales information. but I'm giving my best stuff because I want people to walk away from these broadcasts impressed, going, wow, maybe I didn't have a chance to hang around for the whole live, but I got a lot of value out of what I did. Or maybe I can go back and watch it later because Michael's really valuable. He's helpful to me. And that allows you in the future too to ask for a higher value, ask for a higher ticket item because they already trust that you're going to bring their best stuff. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Diane. Now, we have another question here is, what do I think of trade shows? Woo. Okay. My short answer is I love them. I love them. I love them, love them, love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. If they're the right fit for you. So a trade show needs to be a who the trade show is attracting into the show needs to have in part your ideal client. So for us, I haven't done any trade shows with my media agency, but I have done a lot of trade shows with my pet company. And from a monetary perspective, we've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars at trade shows. And one of the key reasons is that we go to trade shows that is packed full of our ideal client, packed full of them, right? But you also have to ask yourself, and I think it was Glenn that sent in this question here, what is the metric that's going to measure the results of the trade show for you, Glenn? So whether a trade show is successful or not successful, a whole bunch of that is based on what you want out of it. So if we go back to Kelly, for example, okay? So Kelly has been successfully using trade shows to grow her lead base for her real estate agency or her real estate. Okay. And the reason she's doing that is because all she's looking for is contacts. That's what her result is. That's what she wants. So Glenn, if you're going into let's say you're going into Arts Alive, because I know you're in Arts Alive in Langley, right? What's your goal with Arts Alive? What's the objective here? And your entire booth, your whole setup should be designed around achieving that specific objective, from sight lines to signage to everything, right? So Kelly does these really cool bouquets and stuff like that, full of neat stuff and baskets. So her entire intention is to collect information, contact information from clients, and see if anyone's open to selling their home, see if she can get a listing, right? It's not to make any sales there at the moment. Where it gets confusing for most people in trade shows is when they're trying to do two things, right? When they're trying to do two things, because people are walking past booths. And what's the saying? A confused mind does nothing. So if you give people too many options when they walk into your booth, or too many options when they're walking by your booth, then they're going to do nothing. So Glenn, my friend, let me ask you a question. What is your intention with the Arts Alive booth? Is it to make sales or to generate leads? What's the primary intention? We talked about focus earlier, right? And I said it's not a matter of focus. It's a matter of priorities. So what's the priority of your booth, Glenn? Let's find out here from Glenn what the priority is in his booth. Both. Okay. So, as I just mentioned, my friend, both. Okay, so Glenn says it's both. Okay. So here's the thing. Make it one or the other. Make it one or the other. If you're at a trade show, it's likely, and here's how I frame this. It's likely that your primary goal, if I was to say, what would make you happier, Glenn? Coming out of the trade show with $500 in sales, or coming out of the trade show with 50 leads of people that want to buy your product? What would be better for you? 50 leads or $500? 50 leads or $500, Glenn? What would be best? You're not allowed to say both. It's not a valid answer. You have to pick one or the other. 50 leads or $500. Let's see what he says, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what he says. He says, booth is lively, designed to draw them in, make new contacts. Form them when who I'm followed up my leads. Okay. So if that's the intention of your booth, I love it. Then everything should be designed around attracting leads for your stuff. So you want to have lots of really great examples of your art. And then all around your booth, little prompts. It could be like a QR code that they could scan with their phones. It could be something about your backstory a little bit. Like you could put together a quick little slideshow presentation that's rolling on a screen from a laptop that talks a little bit about the history of your company and where it came from and why you love doing what you're doing and how as a kid you used to draw and you fell into this and now it's your passion and your hobby has turned into your business, right? You can talk about those things. It's great because the whole intention then is to create leads. It's not to make sales. It's to show people the art, let the art do the talking, and then have, as I said, QR codes that takes them to a page where they can fill out a form to get a discount on a product from you, right? Always make sure you're offering something in exchange for their contact information. And you can go about generating a whole bunch of leads and interested parties. Then you can say, and here's my section right here, now how I help real estate agents create a unique buying experience for their clients. And you can generate more leads that way too. So if your intention behind the booth, see, this is great, you guys, because we're asking Glenn these questions, right? Glenn says, inform them so they get to know me and my product. Perfect. Okay. So the whole premise here is that Glenn's going to have an entire booth designed around generating conversation about his product, not sales. That's not his goal here. If he gets some sales, great. Awesome. Okay. But his goal is to generate leads for his business after the process. When I went into the Pet Lover Show with my brick and mortar company, we took a 2,500 square foot booth. It was 50 by 50. It's huge. You know what our intention was? Was to sell $35,000 to $45,000 worth of product in 2 days. And we met our goals, right? That's so the goal was to sell. Did we generate leads for a brick and mortar company? Yes, we did, right? But that was the secondary objective of the booth. The primary objective of the booth, once again, we're talking about focus, getting a primary objective here. The primary objective of the booth was to sell product, and we did a lot of that. Okay, so that's the idea here. Glenn says QR codes are going up. Kelly's just adding balloons to draw attention. Yeah, absolutely. Balloons are great. All stuff is great. And as I said, I would suggest that you want to have some sort of way of gathering contact information in exchange for a discount or something like that, or winning a grand prize of something, so that you are generating those leads and your whole booth is set up around attracting that type of information. You can have people slips of paper, right, that they fill out, name, phone number, name or email address, and they can go in a draw. We've all seen this happen. But the fact is I love how you've picked a priority for the booth, Glenn, which is creating leads. And now sales are a secondary thing. If you get sales, congratulations. Your objective is to get sales the next 6 to 8 weeks after the booth. That's when it should really be working for you. Free draw for a print. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, technically it's a draw for a free print. Is what I think we're really getting at here. So perfect, buddy. I appreciate you so much, Glenn, being on here and chatting with me about this. It's great. It's awesome. Any other questions from the audience here as we wrap things up? Any other questions, you can put them in the comment section. I will see them, whether they're from Facebook or YouTube. Doesn't matter. I will see them. And so just to recap, if anyone's catching this late, we started off today's Q&A by going deep on a question from Rob about selling a $7,000 coaching program and my tips on how to sell done for you and done with you products for that particular level. The second question we covered was all about focus. We had a question here about how to more effectively focus from Stacy. She was struggling with other opportunities coming into her life and getting distracted. So we talked about focus, which was great, and what the number one thing I do to help improve my focus is. And then we talked about tips on building better lead magnets. Mark was struggling with his lead magnet getting downloaded. So we talked about what the best thing your lead magnet should be doing. And then we had an added little element here. We talked about, Diane asked, why would a coach or consultant give away their best stuff? And I talked about why you want to put your best out there, why it's critical and important to do your best and put it out there right off the hop, give away your best stuff, and what that does for you and your business and how amazing it can be on the back end and how you can make way more money giving away your best stuff because you're building a much stronger relationship that way. So those are the topics that we covered. And then we finalized with some deep dive questions about booths at trade shows, because Glenn's headed to Arts Alive. So have fun, my friend, at Arts Alive in Langley. I think it's this weekend, isn't it, bud? This weekend. So that'll be an amazing time. And let me know what your booth number is, Glenn. You can put it here in the comment section. And I will hopefully have a chance to maybe drag my chillins out there, my two little ones out to visit Glenn at the booth at Arts Alive in Langley, which is about 30 minutes from where I live. So hopefully we'll do that. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for watching. One final call here for any questions regarding today's broadcasts. Checking my comments here. I think we're good. I think we got everything covered. Okay, everybody who's watching, if you're in the British Columbia area, go to Arts Alive in Langley. 9A is my buddy Glenn's booth. 9A. There you go, my friend. Big shout out for you. So go visit Glenn at the Arts Alive booth. He is in 9A. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And once again, thanks for all the birthday wishes. And I will see you on Monday. Okay. Ciao for now.